Okay, guys, so I'm doing this video on a Sunday while the championship round is still going at Conroe. So obviously, I did not have a good first Bass Pro Tour tournament of the year. Um, and I want to talk with you about that. I'm not going to go into all these excuses and blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to tell you my experience and what I actually learned. So going into practice, I've had really good history there at Conroe. I finished top 10 in the Classic, had some other good finishes in Bass Pro Tour. So I was really looking forward to it. One thing that I didn't take into consideration, the previous times I fished there wasn't any grass in the lake, eelgrass, hydrilla. And right away, I noticed that there was some now. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I love it. I love fishing grass. And essentially what happened is I got into an area, I really was feeling it. The conditions were really, really rough. Cold, nasty, windy. We just came off that nasty cold front down there in Texas where it snowed around Houston. So that normally doesn't happen. So the water temp got really cold. And I was kind of like, hurry up, get a bite, hurry up, get a bite. And I was throwing my traps. I was throwing lipless, vibrating jigs, all kinds of speed worms, different kinds of baits just to try to get a bite, jerk baits. And I never did. But I only spent maybe an hour in this one particular zone and another hour in another zone that had good grass and good habitat where I felt like it was going to go down. Seen lots of other competitors in that area. And I was like, man, they're just not biting in there. So I took off down the lake, scrounged around, caught some on a flat side crankbait on the side of docks. And in these regions, the water was still cold there. It was a little more off colored in some areas. Some areas was kind of clear, but there was no grass in those kind of areas where I started getting a few bites. Had a couple bites on a bladed jig right here. And that kind of led me down a rabbit hole where, okay, well, maybe it's that tough and maybe I could, nickel and dime them. Not taking into consideration the forward-facing sonar part of the deal, which I tried in practice. I caught lots of hybrids. I caught lots of crappies. I caught one 5-pound bass and one bass that's that big. So I wasn't around, the bass. I was around a lot of trash fish, meaning catfish, hybrids, stripers, crappies. I mean, I caught everything. I even snagged a gar somehow. But anyway, after all these years of doing this professionally for almost 20 years now, and fishing in general for close to 40 years in tournaments, I learned a really, really valuable lesson, which I've, like I said, I've been doing this a long time. I should know better. When you go into a tournament, especially pre-spawn, this time of year, late January, early February, depending on where you're at in the country, when those fish are the water temp's getting in that low to mid 50s, if you find the right ingredients in an area, spend a lot of time there, okay? Experiment with different baits, different depths, different angles. Just try to get a few bites if the conditions are tough, because when you have all the right ingredients, that's where the majority of the bass are gonna go. That's where they want to be, and that's where they live. So, lesson learned. Like I said, I'm not making excuses. The guys that spent their practice time in those zones and figured out how to catch them, they're the ones who are competing on championship day. Like I said, I had a really, really poor tournament, but I'm going to not let that happen again. It's just one of those things that, like I said, you got to take the good with the bad. I'm really looking forward to the Harris chain that actually starts here. I'm going to leave next Sunday. So I got a week to prepare. Got all my rods laid out over here. Going to get all the bad mojo off and prepare and go try to have a really, really good tournament at the Harris chain. Love fishing down there in Florida. The weather's supposed to be awesome. There might be some sight fish going on. I mean, we're talking fishing that deep of water or less, maybe. So looking forward to that. But I hope this video helps. Like I said, where you're out in the country, it really doesn't matter. When you get to that pre-spawn time of year, when you have those right ingredients, really, really, really take your time, go through the cycle of baits, the different depths, the different actions, the different cadence, the different angles. Try to figure out where those fish want to be. Get a couple bites so you're confident to go back in there when the conditions start improving, and you're going to have a really good tournament. So there's my kind of recap. I didn't catch enough bass to really go through all my rod and reels and all that setup, but my tackle, my boat, my rods, Daiwa reels, Sunline, everything performed great. Caught some fish on some new Bill Lewis crankbaits. A couple of their little the Mark Daniels Jr. I think it's called S57. I'm still getting used to the names, but yeah, looking forward to Florida. So hope this video helps. Leave me some comments if you have any other questions.